show you shit that you might not know. Welcome, my friend, to the BWIT show. All right, so we've thanks for joining us back here. We're going to finish this off, and so what we've got here now, we've created our model, which is our database. So let's take a peek here. We'll do a quick recap before we move on to creating our view. Excuse me. So I'm gonna click on our db.py file. Let's scroll down, and so right down here. So here's where we're at. We've created our database, which is a local database here, SQL database. We've defined our table and created the fields for our table. Okay, first that was step number one. If you haven't done that, go back and check out the video on creating the database for Web2py. All right. So moving on, let's go back. We created the database, and after that, we defined the control. So I'm going to go here to our default. We defined our control. Here's the function for the index. So this is the default web page that pulls up. This is the function for that. You can edit this to kind of fit your needs and whatnot. In the video we did for setting up your control, we went in here and just did a simple function to define our cars table. We wanted a grid. We equaled our grid to SQL form, and here we wanted our grid to be created out of our DB table, and then we return those local values. All right, so that's where we're at. We got into that, and so the last portion of setting up your first Web2py application is to create your view. So here's the default index view that I showed you, which this is the default view. I'm going to just click on here just so you can see this. So this is the default view. I'm going to go to this so you can see this is a default view for our application. So when folks go there, you'll see the default page. Let me go back and I will show you this back. So this, so this default / index.html, this corresponds to the default index function. So that page corresponds to this, that view page corresponds to this function here. All right, so just keep that in mind. So now what we want to do is, oh, I said, let me pull that up for you real quick. So the default, so if I click on here, this is our app that we created. So here you go. This is the default view for our app. This is the default view. And as you can see here, if I go into the text file, if I make a change here, I'm going to make a change on the back side here of the index file. This is the default index.html file. So as you can see, it says location tracker here. Let me update and change this here. I can spell. So we'll make that change. Now, if I go here and refresh, as you can see here, this top here just changed to my first app. So, but what we want to do, the goal of today is we want to create a view that's going to ultimately point to our controller definition for our tables. Okay, so let's do that. let's create a view. So what you want to do is go to the edit on your Web2py app, click on edit, scroll down to the views section. So so you got models control. We want to go into our views. We want to say create, and what you want to do, we're going to create this in the same location where the default index files are at. So what you want to do is say default /, and we're going to call this cars.html. We're going to create. So as you can see, here's our here is our default template layout we get. So now all we want to do, we want to edit that. So let's go back to whatever favorite text editor you're using. We're going to go to that that views file that we created. Right, views and default, and there it is, our cars HTML. Okay, as you can see, here's our at the moment. So as you can see here, we're not going to see anything if we go there. So let me illustrate that here for you. So at the moment, if we go there, and so in order to get there, remember, so we're in that default. If we're not at index, we are at cars.html. If I go there, we have it threw us an error, so which is the archive is not defined. Oh, I need to take that out. I'm sorry, folks. All right. So let's go back. Where are you at? Text editor. All right. We'll go back to the default and I think that's it. Yeah, so we don't need that. I'm sorry. I got that from another app I was working on. I copied and pasted it. So we got here SQL form grid. I'm sorry. Grid equals SQL form dot grid open close parentheses with DB dot and then the name of our table, which is T for table, and then cars, and we return our logos. Okay. So now let's save that. And I will go back here. I'm going to click back so we can get a fresh, and then let's type that back in. And that was cars.html. Hit enter, and we should have our let's go back here. It should be. Let me make sure. Here we got. What do we got here? Return locals in cars. So yeah, there we go. So this is actually displaying our grid, as you can see. However, it says here this is the default cars.html template, and so as you see here, let me get it there. Go back. This is the default. So let's tweak this a little bit here. So let's go ahead and let's edit this. So you got a nice little app name when you go there. Okay. So we're gonna open up that text editor here, and let's say. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. What you say? Can I get on the Xbox? All right, so sorry about that, y'all. All right, so we got So we're back here. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna edit that HTML file, and let's go ahead and call this the cars database. We'll save it. It's our cars.html. And so in order to get our code, that function, that grid, let's delete this, get rid of that. We want to say, so in order to, in Web2py, in order to get that to inject your Python function or code into the HTML, we want to use double curly brackets. And what you want to do is type hit equal. What that is, that equals, that brings in the variable for the, let's go back here. It brings in this variable for within our function here, which is grid. So we want to bring that grid in. Okay. So what we do is, let's go back. Where are we at here? Bring my text editor back up here. All right, then we go back to our cars and we say equal to grid. And we save that. And we'll go back to our page. And let's refresh. And bam, there you go. See, nicely laid out. Okay, nice, very nicely laid out. Okay, nicely laid out. And keep in mind, you do, we did create our, you have to log into your app. So typically when you create an application, there's no login. You have to register. And then once you register, you'll be able to actually add records to your database. Um, I added, you see here, this is an entry I added when we first, earlier in a previous video, I created this here. So this is here, we've created our view. Um, we stepped through the process of creating the model. We created the control. So let's go back, take a peek here. We, quick recap here. So we created our, we went into the models, which we went into the db.py file, and we created a database with a table called tcars. Okay. After that, we stepped through to the control under the default control db, default control py file, and we created a function that would point to our table database and create a grid style from that database, create a grid. So this is our logic, how we want the information to be displayed. And then lastly, we went in and created the view of how we want that information to be displayed. Okay, which we went in, we created our view, which was under the default view, and we created our cars, cars.html. Here it extend layout is extended. You can see here extend layout.html begins with that. Then under our HTML brackets, H1 brackets for header, we labeled this table for as cars database, and then under here we got equal grid enclosed within double curly brackets. And here is the results. As you can see here, if we go and we edit that, we can, and from here on you can basically this is all the HTML part of your view. So you can go in here, customize customize this how you see fit. um, which I'm not going to get into any HTML things. You can Google and research how to, do some HTML coding or anything like that. We were specifically focusing on creating your first web application with Web2py, stepping you through each of the components necessary to create a web application very quickly and easily. I honestly, you could probably get this up and going. I mean, I stepped through this. You could get this up and going probably less than 10 minutes. Just to create a little simple database. Boom. Create your control, which is just a basic function. Boom. And then create a view. Boom. I mean, do a little repetition and you kind of know what you're doing. You go through this. I recommend you, if you have any questions, refer to the documentation on Web2py. Uh, I would refer back to their docs and resources. Go through it, read it, read it again. Uh, it's a pretty good source, go-to source for anything you want to know within Web2py, how to kind of get and understand the ins and outs. Um, so I hope you like this. Don't forget, hit the like, share, subscribe button. Hit that post notification button. You can be notified when we drop new videos on BWIT television. So Web2py, great web framework for learning, web development, training, even just doing web development. Period. I give it some steam because I found it a very useful tool for me getting to know and understand how to do web development and utilizing these frameworks. Um, so I I think the next step here, if you got next step, I probably will put something together where we can show you. I'll get a from, if you saw the video I showed just displaying for my web dash, the data dashboard that I put together using a Bootstrap template. Um, I'll put together something. We'll go over and how to create your very own data dashboard using that same exact template. We'll go from start to beginning and show you every step of the way we went through and did that. I think that's it. All I got for you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget, thumbs up on that, like, share, subscribe, share this video. Um, Leave any comments you have down below. And yeah, that's it. I think you guys will enjoy Web2py, get a lot of benefit out of it. Learn how to create your own web applications. I really like the portability of it. Imagine being able to go and deploy. I'm thinking like in the area of like a lot of places have these seminars or conferences and things where you need to tally up things or even just take attendance. You need something quick that you can take attendance with, have somebody on a computer, you develop you up a little quick database web application where you can take attendance and keep track of that information. I think this is a very robust tool to do that with. So that's it. That's all I got for you. Drop comments down below. This is JC. I am your humble and gracious host on BWIT TV. Don't forget, I'm the hostess with the mostest. I try to bring y'all all the latest stuff, things that I got going on, things that I feel that have some importance that you can get and grow out of. Because learning don't ever stop. Your brain don't ever stop. So why should learning stop? Um, Check us out. Check me out on Facebook, LinkedIn. All those links are in the description down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Peace. I'm out. I'll holla at you on the 33rd. That might be now. That might be tomorrow. That might be whenever. Peace. Holla, and I'm out.